Welcome to your deep dive, all about uncovering the real nature of religion.
Ooh, I like this one.
We're going deep with the Urantia book as our guide. Now, even if you consider yourself well-versed in traditional religious thought,
Right.
this one might surprise you. We're in for some intriguing twists and turns.
Absolutely. Right out of the gate. The Urantia book throws a curveball. It claims that religion is not a product of reason, but when viewed from within, it is altogether reasonable.
Okay, I'll admit that's a bit of a head-scratcher. What do you make of that?
Well, it's suggesting that. It's not about checking your brain at the door, but instead it points to a deeper kind of understanding. A spiritual insight that resonates with our inner selves. It's not about abandoning intellect, but connecting with something deeper within ourselves.
It's like the difference between looking at a map and actually using it to navigate. So instead of just accumulating religious knowledge, the Urantia book is saying we should be applying these spiritual insights to our lives.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And this is where it gets really interesting. The book dives into what it calls true religion, and it boils it down to three fundamental elements: moral consciousness, spiritual insight, and the intriguing concept of a thought adjuster.
Okay, let's unpack that. Moral consciousness, that's our sense of right and wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what about spiritual insight? That sounds a bit more, well, mysterious.
Think of spiritual insight as those aha moments of connection, a sudden clarity where the truth seems to reveal itself. It's not just an intellectual understanding, but a feeling of genuine connection with something larger than ourselves.
And that brings us to the thought adjuster. Now, that's a new one for me.
It's one of the most unique concepts in the Urantia book. Imagine this, a fragment of the divine residing within each of us, not as a separate entity, but as something interwoven with our minds, guiding us towards higher thought and a deeper connection with the divine.
So it's not some tiny angel whispering in our ear, but more like an inner compass helping us find our way.
Exactly. And here's where it challenges conventional thinking about religious experience. The book specifically states, it is your thoughts, not your feelings, that lead you Godward.
That's really interesting. So many religious traditions emphasize emotion, ecstasy, fervor, being overwhelmed by the spirit.
Right. But the Urantia book suggests a more deliberate path, one where we consciously align our thoughts with a higher purpose.
So it's less about being swept away by religious fervor, and more about a conscious effort to connect with something greater than ourselves through our thoughts and actions.
Exactly. And this focus on thought and reason might lead you to wonder, how does the Urantia book reconcile religion with science? Are they two separate, conflicting forces, or can they coexist?
That's a question I'm sure a lot of us grapple with. On the surface, science and religion can seem like they're speaking totally different languages. So how does the Urantia book bridge that divide?
Well, get ready for a plot twist. This book suggests that science and religion aren't at odds, but are actually two sides of the same coin. Both are seeking truth just through different lenses.
I like that. Two sides of the same coin. So how does that play out in practice?
Well, science uses reason and observation to understand the physical universe, right? It searches for the how, the mechanisms, the laws of nature. But religion, on the other hand, approaches the universe with a sense of awe and wonder, seeking the why, the meaning, the purpose.
So science gives us the mechanics, and religion gives us the meaning, but how do they ultimately connect? The Urantia book mentions this idea of revelation. Does that hold the key?
Exactly. Now, when you hear revelation, you might picture a bolt of lightning and a booming voice from the heavens. But the Urantia book presents a more nuanced perspective.
Okay.
It suggests that revelation is an ongoing process, a gradual unfolding of understanding. It's about those aha moments we talk about, but on a grander scale, connecting the dots between science, philosophy, and spiritual experience.
So it's less about a sudden download of divine knowledge and more about a gradual awakening to a greater truth. It makes me think of those moments when a scientific discovery seems to resonate on a deeper, almost spiritual level.
Exactly. Think about the awe-inspiring beauty of the cosmos, the intricate dance of subatomic particles.
Right.
Those discoveries can evoke a sense of wonder that transcends the purely scientific, and that's where the Urantia book suggests that science and religion can beautifully coexist.
It's like science provides the building blocks, and religion helps us understand the blueprint, the grand design behind it all. But even with this grand vision of interconnectedness, the Urantia book doesn't shy away from its own limitations. In fact, it gets surprisingly specific about this when it comes to scientific claims.
Right. The book acknowledges that while its spiritual truths are timeless, Some of its cosmological details, like those describing the physical universe, are limited by the scientific knowledge available at the time of its writing.
So it's not saying, this is the final word on science, case closed. Instead, it's saying, here's a framework for understanding the universe, but remember, our understanding is always evolving. That's actually quite refreshing, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's a reminder that humility is essential, both in our pursuit of scientific knowledge and in our understanding of the divine. We have to be open to new discoveries, to revising our understanding as we go.
It's about embracing the mystery, acknowledging that we don't have all the answers. And speaking of embracing the mystery, the Urantia book doesn't stop at defining religion. It goes a step further and outlines 12 characteristics of what it calls true religion in action.
And these aren't your typical checklist items like attending religious services or following dietary restrictions. These characteristics are about how our beliefs manifest in our thoughts, actions, and interactions with the world.
Right. We're not just talking about outward rituals here. The Urantia book suggests that true religion has a profound impact on how we navigate life's challenges, how we treat others, and how we cultivate inner strength. For example, one characteristic it highlights is maintaining composure during hardship and injustice. Think about a time when you faced a difficult situation. How did your beliefs, or lack thereof, shape your response?
That's such an important point. The Urantia book is saying that true religion isn't about escaping hardship, but about facing it with a certain strength and resilience that comes from a deep connection with something greater than ourselves.
It's about finding that inner anchor that keeps us steady in the storm.
Precisely. And this ties into another characteristic the book emphasizes: courage. Not just physical courage, but the courage to stand up for what we believe in, to challenge injustice, and to live in alignment with our values, even when it's difficult.
So it's about walking the walk, not just talking the talk. It's about letting our beliefs guide our actions and shape how we move through the world.
Exactly. And that brings us to another fascinating aspect: the ultimate purpose of religion, according to the Urantia book. It suggests that the ultimate goal, the destination of this incredible journey, is liberation.
Liberation, that's a powerful word. What does liberation look like in this context? Are we talking about freedom from suffering, fear, doubt? What exactly are we being liberated from?
It's about freedom on multiple levels. You mentioned some big ones: fear, suffering, doubt. But it goes even deeper than that. The Urantia book suggests it's also about freedom from the limitations of our egocentric perspective. It's about breaking free from the feeling of being alone and insignificant in a vast and often chaotic universe.
So it's not just about escaping personal hardships, but about shifting our entire perspective, our understanding of ourselves and our place in the cosmos.
Exactly. It's about recognizing our connection to something far greater than ourselves, tapping into a sense of belonging and purpose that transcends our material existence. Imagine that feeling of being deeply connected to everything around you, not separate or alone, but part of something truly awe-inspiring.
It's like that sense of wonder you feel when you look up at a starry night sky, but amplified to encompass every aspect of existence. We're not just insignificant specks of dust, but integral parts of something vast and magnificent.
That's beautifully put. And the Urantia book suggests that this realization, this connection to something greater, is not a passive state. It's a dynamic journey of spiritual growth.
So it's not like we reach this state of liberation and then kick back and relax. There's still more to explore, more to discover.
Absolutely. Think of it as an ongoing process of uncovering our true potential, of aligning our thoughts and actions with this deeper understanding of ourselves and the universe. It's about recognizing the divine spark within each of us and allowing it to illuminate our lives.
So if we bring it all back to our listeners, what would you say is the most essential takeaway from the Urantia book? If someone is just starting their exploration of these ideas, where should they begin?
Start with that inward gaze. Cultivate that connection with your own inner wisdom, with that divine spark within you. Pay attention to your thoughts. Seek out experiences that evoke a sense of awe and wonder. And most importantly, be open to the possibility that there's more to life than meets the eye.
That's wonderful advice. It's a reminder that this journey of spiritual discovery is deeply personal and unique to each individual. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. It's about finding what resonates with you, what speaks to your heart and mind.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, on that note, we'll leave you with this final thought inspired by the Urantia book. If you could view the universe from within, as the book suggests, what new possibilities might open up in your life.
What a powerful question to ponder.
Indeed. A huge thank you to the Urantia book for providing such rich material for our deep dive. And an even bigger thank you to you, our amazing listener, for joining us on this journey of exploration. Until next time, keep asking those big questions, keep seeking those deeper truths, and keep diving deep.